Imagine discovering your brain has been sabotaging your financial freedom for years. The wealthy elite have spent decades hiding 10 psychological traps that force ordinary people into cycles of scarcity. Today, we're exposing 4 of these forbidden patterns, including one that rewires your dopamine system like a chemical prison. Let's start with the most insidious trap. Why do 60% of lottery winners go bankrupt within 5 years? Because wealth without identity change becomes a ticking time bomb. When you internalize poverty as who you are, your brain self-sabotages. You skip networking events, avoid salary negotiations, and dismiss investments, not because you can't afford them, but because your neural pathways scream, "This isn't for us." The fix isn't about money. It's about neurological warfare. Start by auditing your language. Every time you say, "I'm broke," you cement poverty as a personality trait. Replace it with "I'm building" or "I'm learning." Billionaires don't have more hours. They reject the scarcity illusion that traps you in endless hustle. You trade hours for pennies while they leverage compound. Here's the shift. Calculate what 1 hour of your life is worth financially. If you earn $20 an hour, spending 3 hours scrolling reels destroys $60 of potential. But the real poison, your brain's addiction to cheap dopamine hits. Poverty mindset creates a toxic feedback loop. Fast food binges after payday, impulse buys to numb stress. Neuroscientists found this pattern shrinks prefrontal cortex activity, the area governing long-term decisions. To escape, you must weaponize delayed gratification. Try this. For every $10 you'd waste on instant gratification, put 5 in a locked savings account and 5 toward a skill. This rewires your reward system to chase growth, not escape. Now consider generational trauma. Studies show children in poverty lose belief in effort's value by age 9. They watch parents work relentlessly with no upward mobility and internalize helplessness. As adults, they avoid negotiating salaries or investing, not from laziness but from deeply wired futility. Break this by tracking micro wins. Did you meal prep instead of ordering takeout? Write it down. These tiny victories rebuild agency. Tomorrow's video reveals how billionaires exploit algorithmic bias to silently drain your accounts. But first, you must dismantle these 4 mental prisons. The question is, will you cling to familiar chains or fight for neurological freedom? Part 2 I 400 words. Do not add timing or image music information. Do not add titles for each part or paragraph. Give me only the narrative version without any indications. No sound indication, no text indication, no visual indication. No abbreviations, symbols, or special characters. Do not use or currency abbreviations. No random action at a random hour with a random delay. Do not encourage the viewer to use or invest his money in any way possible. Write all numbers in words and letters. Write all abbreviations in words and letters. Only the narrative version ready to be copied, pasted. Respond only with the solution in a code block. Triple backticks. You're being hunted by an invisible thief, one that steals not money, but something far more precious. Let's dissect the 5th mental trap, the delusion of multitasking mastery. Studies reveal that self-proclaimed multitaskers perform worse on cognitive tests than those who embrace monotask. Yet poverty mindsets glorify juggling 3 jobs while side hustling, perpetuating a cycle of fractured focus. The elite know fractured attention destroys wealth-building potential. They cluster similar tasks into focus blocks, while outsourcing or eliminating energy drains. Your move: conduct a ruthlessly honest time audit. For 3 days, track every 15-minute segment. You'll discover hidden pockets of zombie time, mindless scrolling, indecisive errands, or redoing poorly planned work. Reclaiming just 90 minutes daily creates over 500 extra hours a year. Poverty wiring romanticizes struggle, trapping you in repetitive financial groundhog days. You replay stories of childhood resilience or the good old days of scarcity, unknowingly anchoring your present to the past. Neuroscientists confirm nostalgia triggers dopamine, creating addiction to familiar deprivation. Break this by creating future memories. Write a letter from your 80-year-old self detailing what they're grateful you sacrificed today. Describe the compound results of consistent micro-actions. How skipping that daily latte funded a life-changing course. 7th is the empathy exploitation paradox. Generational poverty teaches excessive loyalty to others' emergencies, draining your resources. You bail out relatives, cover coworkers' shifts, and neglect financial boundaries, all while your goals languish. The wealthy practice strategic selfishness. They automate charitable giving at sustainable levels and create systems to prevent crisis dependency. Implement the oxygen mask rule. Allocate 10% of income to personal growth before assisting others. This isn't cruelty. It's ensuring you're strong enough to lift others long term. But the eighth trap is the silent killer, ambient defeatism. Your environment constantly whispers limitations through bargain bin products, energy-draining relationships, and survival mode entertainment. A Yale study proved cluttered spaces reduce cognitive function by 28%. Conduct a vibe audit. Replace one visual trigger of lack daily. A cracked phone case screams, "I tolerate brokenness." Swap it for something durable, but affordable. Surround yourself with symbols of growth. A plant, a vision board, or a library app. Tomorrow's finale exposes 2 final traps that hijack your subconscious, including how retail algorithms manipulate your dreams into debt. Stay locked in. Part 3.5. The 9th trap lurks in your social feeds. Algorithmically engineered envy. Platforms are designed to bombard you with luxury lifestyles, creating false comparisons that shrink your self-worth. Research shows frequent social media users overestimate others' wealth by 300%. This illusion triggers desperation spending, buying status symbols you can't sustain to impress people you don't like. Break the spell with reverse benchmarking. Track 1 month of expenses for someone whose lifestyle you envy. You'll discover their $20,000 car lease drains more annually than your entire education budget. Document your skills publicly for 30 days, not for likes, but to attract opportunities aligned with your true value. Then comes the 10th trap, decision fatigue laundering. Poverty forces constant triage, choosing which bill to pay, which meal to skip. This exhausts your mental bandwidth, leaving no energy for strategic planning. The wealthy automate 80% of decisions through routines and systems. Reclaim your cognitive capital with if-then protocols. Example, if an unexpected expense under 5% of your income arises, withdraw it from your emergency fund immediately. If a relative asks for money, respond with pre-written text offering time instead of cash. These preset rules prevent negotiation with your future self during weak moments. But escaping these traps requires one final sacrifice: your victimhood currency. Poverty cultures often reward struggle storytelling, bonding over shared misery. Yet every retelling of your financial wounds reactivates neural pathways of lack. Practice narrative inversion. This subtle shift attracts collaborators who see your potential, not your past. The clock is ticking. Retail algorithms already use these traps against you. Tomorrow's final expose reveals how to flip these psychological weapons into wealth-building superpowers. One technique tricks AI into serving you wealth cues instead of ads. Another reprograms your brain's risk perception in 30 days. But first, share this video with someone still trapped in the matrix. The act itself strengthens your commitment to escape. Part 45. Your brain's security system has been hacked. Poverty wiring interprets stability as danger and risk as catastrophe, keeping you paralyzed in familiar scarcity. The wealthy exploit this through horizon manipulation, making long-term rewards feel urgent while framing necessary risks as safe. Let's dismantle the 11th trap, failure imprinting. Children in poverty receive 6 times more criticism than praise regarding money, creating neural pathways that associate effort with shame. Adults then avoid financial education, fearing confirmation of their incompetence. Rewire this by gamifying failure. You'll dissolve shame's grip and start analyzing errors dispassionately. Trap 12 is scarcity anchoring. Your brain fixates on surviving the week, ignoring decade-level opportunities. A University of Chicago study proved poverty reduces IQ by 13 points during financial stress. Combat this with future self-arbitrage. Write 3 letters from future you at 1-year intervals, each detailing what investments today you must make. Seal them in envelopes labeled with open dates. When temptation strikes, read the nearest letter aloud. This time travel trick reduces present bias by 40%. Now the 13th trap, phantom networks. Poverty convinces you no one cares about your growth, so you avoid seeking mentors. Yet 87% of successful entrepreneurs attribute breakthroughs to cold contacting experts. Start micro-mentoring. Spend 15 minutes weekly observing someone slightly ahead of you. A coworker who budgets well, a neighbor with side income. Note one replicable habit each week without asking permission. This builds observational skills while revealing patterns invisible from afar. The final trap, moral money binary. You've been taught wealth requires ethical compromise, a lie keeping you poor. Ethical billionaires exist, and their secret is values-aligned leverage. Example, if environmentalism matters, negotiate remote work to reduce commuting costs and emissions simultaneously. Every financial decision must serve both ethics and economics. Tomorrow's conclusion drops the ultimate hack: how to transform your trauma into financial foresight using military-grade behavioral models. But first, smash that like button to lock the algorithm into serving your liberation. You've just decoded the invisible code of scarcity, but the final battle happens in your daily rituals. Let's weaponize trauma into triumph. The 14th trap: paralysis by education overdose. Start imperfect doing. For every hour spent learning a skill, spend 3 applying it, even clumsily. Document the process publicly to pressure test ideas before risking capital. You wait for family approval or peer encouragement to pursue opportunities, not realizing successful creators launch in silent mode. Conduct a stealth wealth experiment. For 90 days, track progress through anonymous online communities. The lack of external opinions will sharpen your intrinsic motivation. Now, the ultimate hack: fractal compounding. Poverty focuses on linear growth. Save $10, earn 10 more. The wealthy exploit geometric gains. Example: invest 30 minutes daily in a skill that makes your other hours more valuable. Learning speed reading amplifies every future learning session. Identify one meta skill that acts as a force multiplier, but freedom demands sacrifice. Your addiction to certainty, security-seeking behaviors like hoarding cash or clinging to toxic jobs mirror biological survival instinct. Trick your brain by framing risks as experiments. Example: I'll try freelancing for 90 days. If it fails, I can return to my old field. This psychological safety net lowers activation energy. The war ends here. These traps formed a labyrinth designed to keep you docile and drained. Now you hold the keys. From tomorrow, your environment becomes an ally. Replace one scarcity trigger weekly: a billboard, a pessimistic friend, a cluttered drawer. Each purge weakens poverty's grip. Your final mission: within 24 hours, share this video with one person still trapped. The act of teaching cements your own transformation. Then, smash subscribe. Tomorrow's training reveals how to hijack AI algorithms to automate wealth attraction. But only those who've broken these mental chains can access the next level. The elite are watching. Will you join them or remain their fuel? The clock starts now.